Hi, my name is Daniel. First, let me introduce our company, Orbit Risk and Safety Consultant. We are a consultancy specializing in building surveying, risk and safety management with a strong focus on mission critical facilities such as hyperscale data center. The name orbit represents continuous vigilance, just like an object in orbit never stop moving. Our role is continuously monitor and manage risk to ensure critical infrastructure such as data halls, power system, and cooling system, which is remain safe, reliable, and fully operational. Our goal is to help client improve operational resilience while ensuring compliance with industry standards and regulation. Next, our core consultancy service. Our work is divided into three main areas. The first is professional bidding surveying, where we carry out condition survey, asset management, life cycle costing, and compliance audit to evaluate the overall performance of bidding and critical infrastructure. The second is technical risk management, which include strategic risk analysis, hierarchy implementation, and asset vulnerability assessment to identify and control potential risks. Finally, our safety management services focus on developing emergency response plan (ERP), crisis management procedure, and occupational safety and health consultations to ensure people, asset, and business operation remain protected. Now, let's meet the team behind the scene. Leading our ship is our managing director, which is Muhammad Ali Rusyaidi. On the technical and operational side, we have Muhammad Faiz as our senior risk and safety engineer, working closely with Farhan on risk assessment and AMMAR on health and safety, keeping our day-to-day operation and finance running smoothly in the background. Nur Fatin Aina in HR and TENGKU AQILAH NAJWA managing our finance department. It's a tight, highly specialized group. Now, let's move on to our selected project, which is the YTL Johor Green Data Center Park located in Kulai, Johor. This is purpose-built hyperscale data center campus covering approximately 275 x, support up to 600 megawatt data center capacity. The campus consists of four facilities, JDC1, JDC2, JDC3, and JDC6, and serve cloud computing, AI colocation, and enterprise IT operation. And lastly, one of Malaysia's major hyperscale green data center campus. Our assessment focus on identifying and managing the risks associated with operating this large-scale data center. The objectives are to identify potential hazard, assess their risk using the hierarchy methodology, recommend appropriate control measure, and evaluate compliance with Malaysian safety regulation. In addition, we aim to develop a comprehensive emergency response plan, strengthen the overall safety culture, support business continuity during emergencies, and most importantly, protect human lives, critical assets, and data infrastructure.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Alif, and in this part, I will be explaining about the risk identification in YTL data center. So, the risk identification is the first step in the risk management process, and it is important because the data center operates continuously without stop, so it depends heavily on the electricity, cooling systems, security systems, and information technology equipments. So, in this assessment, the identified risks are divided into four categories. It is site risk, operational risk, security risk, and health risk. So, the main risk that has been identified in the YTL data center is the first one, like on the site risk, is flooding, lightning, disruptions to external utilities, and authorized access through the large site perimeter. So the risk may damage electrical equipment, interrupt operations, or it may delay emergency responses. And the next one is operational risks, which are considered the most critical because the data center must operate about 24 hours a day, literally non-stop. So the main operational risks include power supply failure, cooling system failure, fire, UPS battery incidents, water leakage, and human error. For example, if the cooling system is failed and the server may overheat, causing equipment shutdown and major business interruptions, of course. And the third one is the security risks, where it includes the unauthorized physical access, theft, sabotage, insider threats, and cyber attacks. So these risks may cause data breaches, system disruptions, and loss of customer confidence. And the last one is the health risk. This one will affect the workers, contractors, and emergency responders. So this includes like electrical shock, arc flash, chemical exposure, heat stress is the main one, noise, working at heights, and fatigue caused by shift work. So therefore, this operation risk require the highest level of monitoring because if one system fail, it can create a domino effect throughout the data center. So this is the risk analysis tool, which we are using the PASTEL analysis method. So the PASTEL stands for, PASTEL is an acronym that stands for political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal. So the political and economic factors include changes in government policies, energy regulations, electricity tariffs, and increasing operational costs. And the social factors include shortage of skilled workers and increasing customer expectations. In the technological risk, it's among the most important because the data centers are exposed to cyber attacks, system failures, and rapid technology changes. And the environmental factors is also important. It includes floodings, severe weather, water availability, and high energy consumptions. And the last one is the legal factors that involves compliance with safety, fire, environmental, electrical, and cybersecurity requirements. So these PASTEL findings supports the next stage of the assessment, which is the preparation of the hierarchy and risk register. Moving on to the most important part, which is the legal acts and guidelines. So several Malaysian acts and guidelines must be followed to control the identified risks in the YTL data center. So the first one is the OSHA. Well, the OSHA is the Occupational Safety and Health Act in 1994. It protects workers and requires employees to provide a safe workplace. And the next one is the DOSH hierarchy guidelines, which are used to identify hazards, assess the risk levels, and determine suitable control measures. And the Fire Services Act 1988 and the Uniform Building Bylaws 1984, which I'm not mentioning inside. It covers fire detections, firefighting systems, and evacuation routes and emergency access. Since this building is in 24-hour operational, so it may has a high risk in a fire. So this this act is actually must be really considered by the YTL data center because there is a really high chance of getting fire fire attack. So the next one is the Electricity Supply Act 1990. It applies to high voltage equipment, substation, generators, and UPS systems. Not to forget the Environmental Quality Act 1974. It controls fuel storage, chemical handling, battery waste, and environmental pollution. And not to forget the data protections. The data protections and cybersecurity must also be managed through the Personal Data Protection Act 2010 and the Cybersecurity Act in 2004. So in this case, the recommended actions for YTL data center is they must regularly update the hierarchy register, implement permit to work procedures, appoint competent technical personnel, maintain fire certificates and conduct emergency drills, prepare cybersecurity incident response and backup plans, control fuel batteries, chemicals, e-waste, and emissions. This this part is where
HIRAC Risk Register Metric. HIRAC stands for Hazard Identification, Risk Assessment and Risk Control. The purpose of this section to identify the possible hazard, assess the risk level and suggest the suitable control measure. For this project, the risks are divided to four main categories. The first one is environmental and external risks, such as flooding, lighting and road access disruption. The second category is operational risk, including power supply failure, cooling system failure, UPS battery incident, fire and water leakage. The third category is security risk, such as unauthorized access, cyber attack, CCTV failure. The last category is health and safety risk, including electrical shock, heat stress, noise exposure, chemical exposure, working at height, and fatigue. The risk rating calculated by using formula likelihood multiplied by severity. For the risk rating method, each risk assessed by on likelihood and severity. Likelihood means how often or how likely the hazard may happen. The level is from 1 to 5, where 1 means rare and 5 means almost certain. Severity means how serious the impact will be if the hazard happen. It also rated from 1 to 5. 1 means negligible and 5 means catastrophic. After multiplying the likelihood and severity, the risk is classified into 3 categories, which is green means low risk and it accepts with regular monitoring. Yellow means medium risk and additional control should be considered. Red means high risk and it's not acceptable unless the risk is reduced. From the higher assessment, the main risks are cooling system failure, cyber attack, power supply failure, fire in electrical or server area, UPS, battery incident, electrical shock, and working at height. These risks are considered high because they can cause serious injury, major equipment damage, service downtime, data loss, and business interruption. So, to reduce the risk, several important control measures are recommended. The first one is control the system redundancy. This include N+1 power design, UPS, standby generator, and redundant coolant system to make sure the data center can continue operating without any failure. The second control is preventive maintenance. This is include generator testing, chiller inspection, alarm testing, and also calibration. The third control is fire protection. The data center should have fire detection, clean agent separation, compartmentation, and regular fire drill. And also, next is security monitoring. This will include biometric access, CCTV, anti-tailgating system, and regular access right review. For the maintenance work, permit to work procedure are important. This will include lockout, tagout, supervised switching, toolbox briefing, and competent workers. In conclusion, YTL Green Data Center Park has significant risk because it depends on continuous power, cooling, system, security, and safe maintenance. High risk must be controlled immediately, while medium risk must be monitored regularly. The risk register should also can be reviewed after any incident. System upgrade, work process change, or legal requirement change. That's all for me.
This slide explains the emergency operating procedure for YTL Green Data Center Park. The purpose of the EOP is to protect people, important facilities, and data center operation during an emergency. It also helps reduce downtime and keeps the business running. The EOP focuses on protecting key areas such as data hall, electrical switch room, cooling plant, security control room, and UPS and battery room. This slide shows how the emergency operating procedure works. First, the emergency is detected using alarms, CCTV, or other monitoring system. Next, the control room checks and confirms the incident. Then, the emergency response team takes action to protect people and important system. Finally, all systems are checked and restored before normal operations continue. For this slide, it explains how the team respond to different emergencies such as fire, power failure, cooling failure, flooding, security breach, and battery incidents. Each emergency has its own response to protect important systems, reduce damage, and keep the data center operating safely. This slide explains the crisis management plan. It is active when an emergency cannot be managed using the normal emergency operating procedure. The main objectives are to maintain business continuity, protect the organization reputation, and recover critical data center services. Examples include major fires, long power outage, cooling failure, flooding, security breach, cyber incident, and battery or chemical incident. This slide explains the role of the crisis management team. The crisis director leads the overall response, while the incident commander manages the emergency on site. The facility team restores the electrical, UPS, generator, and cooling system, while the IT operation team keeps the server and network running. The safety officer ensures everyone works safely.
The security team controls site access and the communication, official update management, and stakeholder. Having clear role help the team work together, make faster decisions, and recover critical system more quickly. This slide explains the crisis response and recovery strategy. When an incident is too serious for the normal EOP, the crisis management team is active. The recovery process includes restoring the power supply, stabilizing the cooling system, checking the IT system, carrying out safety inspection, and returning to normal operation. The slide also shows three crisis level. Level 1 is managed using the EOP, Level 2 is managed by the crisis management team, and the last one, which is Level 3, is a major crisis where the business continually plan and external authorities may be needed.
Assalamualaikum. My name is FAIZ bin Muhammad Salehuddin, and I will be presenting about emergency communication flow at YTL Green Data Center Park. So, the communication flow will be begin with emergency detected, where incident identified by monitoring system or personnel, and after that, control room operator will receive alarm and verify incident information. After that, facility manager will assess the situation and determine escalation level. And after that, emergency response team, stand for ERT, will be execute emergency response action, and data center management will be coordinate resources and oversee recovery. An external emergency agency will be involved, whether it's bomber, police, TNB, or ambulance. And client and stakeholder also will be involved to provide incident update and recovery information. By following this emergency communication flow, it will help to give a rapid notification, accurate information, right personnel, and also continuous update. And the objective of this communication flow is to ensure rapid communication, effective coordination, personal safety, and business continuity during emergency situation.
This slide explains the objective and types of emergency drills. The main purpose is to test our emergency response procedure, improve staff preparedness, and ensure everyone knows the execution routes. These drills also help evaluate communication system, identify weaknesses, and ensure compliance with safety regulations. The common drills include fire, power failure, evacuations, medical emergency, flood, and cybersecurity drills. Incident management is a systematic process to handle emergencies while minimizing the impact on people, assets, and operations. The Emergency Response Team or ERT consists of different roles such as the Incident Commander, Safety Officer, Fire Response Team, First Aid Teams, and others. Incidents are classified into three levels: minor, moderate, and major, depending on their severity and the response required. This slide shows the incident management process. It starts with incident detection and reporting, followed by assessment and emergency response activation. After the incident is contained, recovery and investigation are carried out to identify the root cause. Finally, corrective action and continuous improvement help strengthen safety and business continuity.
So, in conclusion, this project has successfully identified the major risks that has associated with the YTL Johor Green Data Center Park. By applying the PASTEL and hierarch risk assessment methods, we have evaluated the potential impacts and prioritized critical risks. Based on the findings, some appropriate risk control measures, legal compliance requirements, and emergency response strategies were proposed to enhance the overall safety and resilience of the facility. And this study also highlights the importance of continuous monitoring, preventive maintenance, and regular emergency drills in maintaining safe and reliable operations. Overall, adopting a proactive risk management approach will strengthen operational resilience, protect people and critical assets, and support long term business continuity. And that's all from us. Thank you very much for watching.